So when I came to Kim, I was referred to her by a dear friend, her partner in crime, Mr. Jesse. I was referred to her because I was suffering from a rash that had been a recurring issue for me for the last probably 6 to 8 months. And it felt like I could never fully get it to go away. I would knock it down a lot and then it would come back. And it was really affecting my quality of life. And so kind of as a last ditch effort, Jesse had mentioned that his partner does allergy energetic healing. And I was like, wow, can I connect with her? And from the moment that she worked with me the first time, I noticed a shift, even when we just talked on the phone the first time. So I myself work for a very powerful energy healer, so I can tell when people are legit or when they're not. And the fact that I could feel her working on me and I could feel a shift from the moment that we started talking, I'm like, okay, she obviously is the real deal, because there's a lot of people out there that aren't. I decided to do the program, but probably within a month of starting the program, I could feel like the itch that had been so devastating start to fade away. And for the first time since like June of last year, the itch like went away and I actually saw my skin starting to heal. And now it's like it never happened, which is kind of surreal because it's dominated my life. And another big thing that I've noticed is I feel I'm way more present. I'm way more relaxed. My relationships have improved. My attitude, my ability to focus, my vibration has elevated in a way that permeates all areas of my life. Having all those allergies like taken out of me has profoundly benefited my life experience.
So when I came to Kim because my daughter was 6 months old, I think, and she was breastfed only, and she had eczema really, really bad. She was getting it on her legs, her ankles, and she was getting it on her face. And the doctor kept telling me to change my diet. And so I was down. She had me eating meat, quinoa, and green vegetables. And I wasn't getting any better. And so after working with Kim, I think it was 2 weeks into the program and her eczema totally went away and I completely healed. And I was able to eat whatever I wanted really after that. So it was it had a huge impact on my life and a huge impact on my daughter's life. And it was so fascinating to me, all of the things that we were allergic to. Not just food, because that's what, of course, the doctor was telling me, that it was all food sensitivities, which there was some of that, but it was also emotions and planetary energy, and you cleared oaths and contracts, and there was all different kinds of stuff that you worked on with me and my daughter that just completely shifted our life.
My first experience that I remember when I had a reaction to sugar. When I was 3 years old, I'd actually eaten a piece of toast that had yummy butter, white bread, right? Yummy butter and cinnamon and sugar just plastered all over that toast. It was like, just yummy, yummy, yummy. First time I'd ever had that. And as soon as I finished that piece of toast, I immediately had, I guess, I didn't realize it at the time or even later in life, but I had an allergic reaction to sugar. And I literally bolted right through a screen glass door at 3 years old and, could have died. And that kind of set the stage for my life with addictions and different things and cravings and all kinds of habits that were not good for me. And I didn't realize until about 1.5 years ago when I actually met Kim that those were allergic reactions. And I've always craved sugar my whole life. And one of the big things that I've noticed since I've worked with Kim is I have less fear, far less fear than I had just a year ago, 1.5 years ago. So anyway, I won't go on too much about the emotional stuff, but it has just been a huge thing about just so many less negative emotional states that I experience. And plus, I'm not allergic to dairy anymore. I'm not allergic to the veggies that I used to be allergic to that I didn't even know that I was trying to get nutrition from. And so I'm just getting a lot more nutrition from those things, and I can feel it. Coffee, I can just go on forever and ever, just so many different things.
For those of you who might not know who I am, Kim and I are best friends. We've been best friends forever. So I've been intimately involved with this work long before there was ever any kind of program. And I've actually never gone through Kim's program. I've received the allergy healing, portioned out bit by bit whenever I needed it. So my daughter Sabrina, who's my oldest daughter, when she was, it was her 15th birthday, she was diagnosed with celiac. She could literally only eat four things: apples, almond butter, quinoa, and kale. And she was existing on these 4 food items. And plus, on top of that, she was really, really, really sick. Like, she would stay in bed. She would have anxiety attacks. She was in high school. Allergy healing has played a major part in her recovery of her health. And now she's in college and she's living in London. She's going out to restaurants. That was unheard of. She could not go out to restaurants. She could not even eat at home. And now she's living a normal life. She doesn't have panic attacks. She couldn't leave the house other than to go to school pretty much. And now here she is living 7,000 miles away from me. And that's just one piece of what allergy healing has done. I had a thyroid issue. I was very exhausted all the time. Many years ago, when I was pregnant with my first daughter, I had gone through 2 brain surgeries, and that caused a big imbalance in my whole endocrine system. And so my thyroid had basically been off, and my adrenal glands were suffering for decades. And I knew this was an issue, but I don't like to go on medication. And so I was just kind of trying to fix it naturally. So I had allergy healing, and I went for a physical, and I asked them to check my thyroid levels because I was always concerned about that. And literally, my doctor said, everyone in the office was exclaiming about my thyroid levels because they had never seen such good thyroid levels. So that's like total medical proof that this really made a difference for me.
My story is a little different in that I've been looking at health and wellness probably for a larger part of my life. I'm an energy healer. I've done spiritual work. I've been on this path for an extremely long time. I'm a life coach. I have a psych background. I've done I've done so much work on myself. So my flare-up was asthma. All of a sudden, I could no longer breathe. It was within a week's time or so. I'm in my 40s. I'm not going to share more. But the last time I had ever had that, it was about 12 years old. So it's been a really long time. I had been on 2 different rounds of antibiotics. I had worked with various healers, all different modalities. And I just felt like it wasn't enough. And in speaking with a particular business coach of mine, she said, well, this is either real or it's fear. So I'm going to refer you to Kim, and we'll know soon enough if this is real or it's just you on you. And I would say, I think for me, I started to feel better sometime around week 6, but it really didn't go until about 12 or so. I think we were good around 16. And being who I am, I'm like, Kim, I don't ever want to stop. When do I get to 100%? So basically, before I couldn't breathe. Then I was going to doctors. Nobody had a solution. I saw Kim, and voila, I was amazing.